when it comes to clinical understanding of data, please be careful
Yeah.
because it's not always right. And a lot of it, you really have to, you can't put, like you said, put your professional hat on hold and just hold on to chat GPT because it's not going to get you to the finish line.
Mm-mm.
Um, but I do think it does make life a little bit easier. I definitely am concerned as we get older, making
Mhm.
sure that we are using those cognitive skills because, like you said, you are absolutely right. When you're using certain aspects of your brain, particularly your prefrontal cortex, I'm such a nerd, I will tell y'all that. Your prefrontal cortex is firing. When
Mhm.
you're not using it, those cells will die. Those
Mhm.
areas will, like you said, go dormant, and then they will eventually, be inoperative.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. This is the second episode in the series of episodes that I'm doing with one of my besties, Dr. Rosalyn Pitts Clark, on living well. So, Rosalyn, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, we had so much fun last time. And I heard that from so many people, by the way. So many people were like, yes, you all have to keep doing these. So, thank you for coming back.
Absolutely.
And for those who this is the first time joining, we really use these episodes to talk through some interesting topics, stats, just kind of interesting stories that can help us all work well and live well. So we choose things that are personally meaningful to us so that we can also share what we've personally learned, how we're navigating it. So let's just start with a check in like we normally do. How are you doing? And I'll use your words. How are you really doing?
I am doing pretty well. I will not complain.
Mm,
Life is good. I mean, life always life, but at the end of the day, life is pretty good. I am continuing, onward with the health journey. Every day is a battle between
yeah.
me and the donut, but but I'm hanging in there. Tug of war, tug of war. And just trying to make sure I have all of my priorities. So I have made it so that 5 o'clock hour in the morning, whoosha, is my time. I will get up, I
Mm.
will exercise, and then my day will start because that is literally the only time I have to myself. My little person has been getting up with me about 5:30, and I just sit him on the couch. You can watch Transformers, do your thing until I'm ready. But he has started to understand that that's mommy's time, and I realized that I need that space for not just my physical health, but for my mental and emotional health as well. So yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, we're doing good. School started back. The homework started Monday.
Homework. Those days I do not miss. I do not miss
That
those.
that homework takes me out. One time I had to write to his math teacher. Now my child is in first grade. Well, he was in kindergarten last year. I tried my best, but I'm not sure if this is right.
Well, at least that's the better option than what I took. Sometimes I would just like go back and look at that and be like, no, erase, it's a six.
I
Would
I honestly
actually do
did
it.
not
I'm like, I don't have time to talk about this. I'm just doing it for her.
I honestly did not know the answer to the question. I did not know how to solve the question. And I'm sitting there like 2 plus 2 should be 4 just because it's 4. I
That's
don't care.
pretty scary in first grade, honestly. That tells you how much smarter they are than us already.
It was kindergarten.
Kindergarten. That's even worse, actually. So
But all in all, we're great. We're great. How are
okay.
you? How are you doing?
You know what? Had I answered this question 2 days ago, or even this morning, my answer was going to be tired. Like that was going to be my answer because I was like, business, I mentioned business was down Q1. It was
Right.
starting to come back in April, May, and April, yeah, May. And it really has come back, which, I say all the time, God, oh, I'm sure God is always laughing. It's like we pray for these blessings, then we complain about them. It's like, Lord, please bring my business back. Now the business is back, and you're like, oh my God, I am so tired. So I think I would have said tired from business things, but also just personal things, people dealing with illnesses, people around me just in tough situations. But between a 3.5 hour brunch on Sunday with good friends of mine and a mentoring session I had this morning, I'm now part of this like mastermind group with other business owners. Connections just really energize me. Like real connections with real people, being very honest, like who you can share where you really are. Like the connection we have. Just It really energized me. So in this moment, I feel so good. Um, Life the last few weeks, I'd say tired, but in this moment, I feel really good and really just appreciative of the people God has placed in my life.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. That's
Yeah,
wonderful. Connections, I'm telling you, human connection is key. It is
girl.
key. Despite all the things we could do virtually, just being in somebody else's space
Yes.
is it's an amazing thing.
It
When the
makes a
energy's good.
difference.
When the energy's good.
Yeah. Being in the right people's space. Yeah.
Let's rephrase that. When the energy's good. So yeah.
So yeah, so I'm good too. I'm doing really good. So I wanted to start with doing some check-ins from last time, and I actually have to find my notes on my phone because I already told you some of this, but I want to start with your check-in. One topic we talked about last time was tech-free weekends, and you were deciding if on the upcoming cruise vacation that you were going to have, were you getting the internet or not? Because your baby loves his iPad, as all babies do, with his tablet. So, what did you decide? What was the outcome of this decision? How'd you get there? Like, what happened?
I broke down.
You know what? I was kind of hoping you would, because remember I told you, I was like, if you can't change this decision, just get the technology. Vacation is not the time to be trying to establish new principles in life. So, okay.
I broke down. We didn't even get to the cruise before I broke down. We had the technology package like 3 days
Okay.
because I
Okay.
was like, well, for a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
One is that Jeremy typically talks to his dad every night. And without
Mm.
that, he wouldn't be able to do that because we wouldn't be able to connect via WhatsApp. So I didn't want to change that routine. And then just in downtime, unfortunately, it was either pack a bunch of toys during downtime or have an internet connection for 20 minutes while I'm trying to shower and get dressed. So I chose the internet connection. And plus,
Mhm.
I just didn't want to, I was still, I was getting ready to go back to work. And so I didn't want to miss any pertinent emails or I didn't, it was just, I, I just couldn't be that disconnected that far from home.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I
So
get that. I mean,
that was one of the things.
yeah, I was kind of there. Like, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, I don't know if this is the time to do it.
Mm-mm.
I've been doing more tech-free, not weekends, but I would call it more tech-free moments. So, like meals, I don't use technology. I was in a with some leaders last week in a leadership program. All my connections with them, no technology. Like I've been trying to have more tech-free moments every day. I haven't
Mhm.
really done the weekends as much, like a whole weekend, but I've definitely been slowly disconnecting more, uh,
Okay.
which I love.
So Jeremy has checked me on it actually.
Really?
Yes. He has said, Mommy, you're on your phone. Are you paying attention to what I'm doing? And karate. Like I was ordering groceries, while he's in karate. He's like, and they took a water break. Mommy, I want you to watch me. I want you to watch me. And I put
Oh.
my phone down. Yeah. Or I noticed that when I'm with him, I try to put it down so that
Mhm.
he knows I'm focused on whatever we're doing as opposed to the phone being a distraction. So, yeah.
Wow. And was this at a practice or an event?
This was at a practice, like karate
Wow.
practice every day. Now, when he had his event, and my baby did want to win a 6 foot trophy, y'all, I was so
No,
proud of him.
like for real, like
Like,
a for real 6 foot trophy.
I
Yes.
mean, I was so proud of him. The phone was down. I was
Yeah.
screaming like a lunatic,
Mhm.
cheering for the baby, taking photos, but just making sure that I am present in those spaces because I do
Wow.
see the stats and that how much time we spend on
Mhm.
technology. And then if you actually look at that screen time notification,
Oh
it's so
God.
frightening how
Yeah.
much time we are on the phone and then what we're doing while
Yeah.
we're on the phone. So, yeah.
Nonsense. Yeah. Okay. I love that he asked and that you responded in a positive way. Yeah, I think we should keep being mindful of that for sure.
Yeah, but I had to get those groceries or we were gonna be hungry. But yeah. It's just
Listen, thank God for grocery delivery. I am that comes actually into one of my topics later. So,
okay.
yeah. Okay, the other topic was the one you had. So I'll let you kind of tee it up around being overwhelmed and I'm gonna find my notes on it.
Well, I'm always overwhelmed. I mean, I can't lie. I am always overwhelmed for one reason or another. Whether it's and I don't know if I'm truly overwhelmed or I have made myself overwhelmed, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Mhm.
So it's like the mornings are hectic, the evenings are hectic. It always seems like there's something that is left to do. And
Mhm.
so, like we talked about last time, it's like our moms, how in the world did they do everything? Because I feel like some days I'm on a wing and a prayer and I have a little bit of help when it
Right.
comes to like housekeeping. We have grocery delivery, we have things that are available to us that our moms never had, and our moms had multiple kids. But I don't know what it is, but I honestly feel like I'm always trying to catch up,
Mhm.
always a step behind.
Yeah.
So that hasn't changed. And I
Yeah.
still, my mother has passed, and I still wish I could be like, how did you do this?
Okay. Well, I called mother, and she said she was answering for both of them, by the way, because she knew your mom as well. So my question to her, based on our conversation, was, how did you all do it all? Like, house was clean, kids were at school, you were cooking most of the week, as we said, except for Fridays,
Yep.
cooking most days of the week. Like, how did you do it? And her answer sent me. Like I was literally giggling on the phone with her. So I'm just gonna tell you the whole answer that she gave me, at least the notes I took, and then we'll talk about it. I already told you most of this. One, her answer was, we had no choice. We weren't liberated like y'all are. This is what she said. We didn't know we were entitled to free time. That's why she also said that's why y'all got treated so mean. Because she said they were tired. She was like, we were tired. But we didn't know how liberated we could be. And, in doing work, what she was saying was that, they both were teachers, our moms, and a lot of, women were teachers or nurses in that time. That doing that was considered like something you wanted to do. It was like your other responsibility, like, oh, she wants to go to work. That's cute. But it wasn't considered like being an equal provider in the household. So she said by going to work, none of the other responsibilities you had in the household went away. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom for many years while my dad was like in the military. So when she went to work, it was just like, oh, okay, that's cute. That's something else you want to do. It wasn't like, oh, you're going to work.
Right.
Let's meet. Let's talk about who has different responsibilities, who's going to do what.
Mhm.
She said it wasn't even a consideration. It was like, yeah, you work, but you didn't let go of any of your other home children responsibilities. So she said they didn't have a lot of free time. Um, she said we just didn't feel entitled to it. And she said it was almost like a mindset that the money you brought in as a mother wife at that time didn't really count. Even though it was a part of the family budget, it's like that was like bonus. So she said you did it really because you had to. She did not know she had a choice.
Right. Yeah. Funny, my mother worked for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
But I do remember her telling me that daddy offered her the opportunity to stay home. He said, if you
Mhm.
don't want to work, you don't have to. But the caveat for her was that he also said, now some of the extra stuff that we do have and are able to engage in, now some of that might have to scale back. And when you talked about Ola Pitts about not getting her hair done every week, or, we're not going on vacation, we're not eating out every
Right.
Friday, she's not able to spend money at will. She was like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's go and get this job.
My
Let me
girl said I'm going to work.
I'm going to work, Monday morning, we out the door.
Right.
But it mesmerizes me. And I get that. Like they didn't feel like they had free time, but we feel like we have to have personal time in order to we
Oh
deserve
yeah.
it. We
Oh
deserve
yeah.
it.
Completely. And I think we also feel entitled to partners doing more of the work. Like
Yes.
I
Yes.
feel entitled to a certain extent that, yeah, we're going to talk about what the work is, and you're going to do this, I'm going to do that. Like we're going to
Right.
partner on it a lot more. Whereas I think she said, like, it was like she didn't even ask that question. She wasn't like, oh, are you going to wash dishes Monday and Tuesday? If I'm cooking, are you going to wash the dishes? Like the conversation didn't even come up because she was
Yeah.
like, no, if I'm not doing it, maybe we were doing it, the kids. But it was never like, is he going to do it?
Nope.
She said, wasn't even a
Nope.
thought.
Nope.
And I was
Same,
like,
same, same, same.
wow.
When we got of age, we did it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I got older, like
Yeah.
adult, that I saw daddy, he may wash dishes. And
Yeah.
I remember my mother basically banned him from doing laundry because he thought he was being helpful and washed her suede skirt in the washing machine.
Dang it.
She was like, "You're done here.
Yeah. Thanks,
Don't
but
watch
no
those."
thanks.
He
Yeah.
came home and that thing was hanging on the line.
Like
So, like, yes, it was like a doll's skirt at that point. But after that, she was like, "Oh, no,
yeah.
no." But I also think, our dads were not raised to do housework, at all.
Mm-mm.
Where men of our generation, they're a little bit better. I know I just bought Jeremy a new vacuum cleaner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
come on. Yeah, exactly.
because one of his chores is to vacuum the floors.
And he likes
Um,
it.
he does,
Yeah.
I have to go back behind him, but he likes it. But also setting him up because I
Yeah.
realize I'm raising someone's husband.
Mm.
So he has chores in the morning. He has to make up his bed. He has to turn his, night lights off. He has to feed Jerry the fish, who, thank you,
Mhm.
Jesus, is still living because he asked me if the thing died, "Well, we going to get a dog?" And I said, "Absolutely not."
No, we're getting
So
another fish.
y'all pray for the fish because we need
Yeah.
that fish to live forever. Um, but
Yeah.
making sure he puts his dishes away and
Mhm.
those kind of things. So he is contributing to a household and
Yeah.
doesn't think that somebody is supposed to cater to him. So
Yeah, it's just so different. So I thought, yeah, I was like, it's funny how your mindset influences the life you have, like what you believe about how things should work, how much that influences. And I think that's part of it. And yeah, part of probably why we feel overwhelmed is our mindset. Like we think our kids should be able to be involved in multiple activities. We think that we should be able to do all these things at home and do free time. We
mhm,
think that we should be able to
yeah,
go have 3.5 hour brunches with friends. I mean, all those choices are
right.
choices we're making that add things to our life. Which I love those things. Like it's nothing I want to, it's kind of a, I don't want to give it up kind of a thing also. It's like me getting in my own mind around, okay, which of these things really aren't adding enough value that if I took it away, I might get more margin back. Um,
Right.
but that's what I took away from her. I was like, it's really our mindset. Like that's sure there are a lot of things we have to do. You may have to do elder care and stuff like that. But there's a whole nother bucket of things that really are things we're choosing.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, I choose to go get my hair cut. I choose to go get my nails done. I choose,
Mhm.
those are, and they take up time, but
They take
they
up
make
time.
me happy. So they all
Yes.
go.
Exactly. And they're staying on the list right now. So so
Absolutely.
anyway, that was the reflection. That is what she said. And I learned a lot about that, about kind of how things change generation to generation and how we may not even see it or appreciate it. So I thought that was really interesting.
Tell your mother I said thank you.
Well, I'll pass it on to her. I also got to confirm she's okay with me sharing all that, but which I did not. But yeah, I'm sure she will be. I'm sure she will be. So,
Okay.
okay, let's start our topics. Like, how about you go first? What's your first topic for today?
So my first topic for today is AI.
Mm.
It is I mean, on some level, I am mesmerized by it, but on some level, I am afraid of it. Like
Mm.
we were at dinner again, an option that I had,
Yeah.
go out to dinner.
Mhm.
And as we're walking, the little robot scoots by on the sidewalk to deliver the Uber Eats food to whoever it was going to. I see the little
Really?
Uber car with the circle thing on it. There's no driver.
Mm.
And I was like, this is crazy. Or I was looking on the prime example. I was on Facebook wasting time last night where I could have been asleep, but let's move on.
Mhm.
And they had a poster. It was somebody had posted that Sade was going to be doing a concert. I was like, then I realized it was AI and it wasn't accurate. Or, a news article, you're like, oh my God. And then you read this is not right. This is AI.
Mhm. Mhm.
Photos. And so, it's a tough situation. It's great in some aspects, but then it's like the misinformation. That's my biggest thing right now is the
Mhm.
misinformation. So these are the kind of things I want to talk about around it. The misinformation,
Yeah.
the fast pace at which it's moving,
Mhm.
the fact that I feel like as a psychologist, it is going to contribute to our cognitive decline
Mhm.
because if we don't use it, we lose it.
Mhm,
particularly as we get older. So
mhm,
those critical thinking skills, those problem solving skills, I don't have to solve a problem in the world. I can put in chat GPT, solve this problem and it's done. And
mhm.
then also what does the future look like for our kids?
Yeah.
So those are those are the things that have been on my heart as
Mhm.
of late. So what do you think? What you think?
Yeah, I mean, the cognitive decline, I think, is really interesting. I was reading something, could have been true, could have been not, honestly. Listen, it could have been AI now
Because
that
of AI.
it was on social media. I think I looked it up a little bit, but I'll put a star asterisk by it. But it made sense to me. It was saying that when we're using AI like ChatGPT or, Perplexity, any of the other ones,
Right.
um, that it doesn't like that our brain is almost dormant because we're using so little of it versus when I'm actually composing an email
Yeah.
from my mind, like different areas of your brain are firing.
Yeah.
When I'm just saying, "Hey, chat, can you send me an email about so and so?" Like
Yeah.
it's actually places in your brain are more dormant because you're not putting as much thinking energy into it, which makes complete sense. Like that's my own experience for sure. So I do think about the cognitive decline and even just like, AI was programmed. It is pulling from certain sources. So it's also going to limit, I feel like, creativity. It's going to limit approaches to problem solving because we're all going to the same place, getting the same answers.
Right.
I really feel like now, I think some people look at phones, like these smartphones, and say, "Did they make us better or worse?" A lot of people are like, "Probably worse," actually, in a lot
Yeah.
of ways. I
Yeah.
feel like that could be the case with AI in 10 years. Like right now, does it make me more effective in some of my personal things? Absolutely. Like it does. I use it quite a bit.
Yep.
And at the same time, am I like, is it good for my personal development and growth?
Right.
Probably not, and I actually told students, I'm teaching this class this semester,
Right.
I told the student yesterday, I was like, I can now pick up on an email if it was AI written or not.
Yeah.
Like, you can do some prompts to make it seem less AI, but if you just go in there and say, AI, write this email and copy paste it, I can totally pick up on it. So I was telling them for interviews, I was like, when you're doing thank yous for interviews, please don't just go get Chat GPT to write your email and do copy paste. I was like, it feels so inauthentic. So there's something about authenticity too that gets lost in using it for communication.
I mean, I fully agree with that. I think also from a clinical aspect too, and I was telling my team members that it's great for editing.
Mhm.
It's great if you are furious and you're trying to send an email and you're like, please check for tone and professionalism.
Yes.
It's
Ooh, good
wonderful for
prompt.
it. However, when it comes to clinical understanding of data, please be careful.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not always right, and a lot of it, you really have to you can't put like you said, put your professional hat on hold and just hold on to Chat GPT because it's not gonna get you to the finish line.
Mm-mm.
Um, but I do think it does make life a little bit easier. It
Mhm.
does, because I'll be honest now, when I'm doing an interview, I will literally dictate it as opposed to like typing as I'm talking to
Oh, yeah.
somebody, and I'll dictate it and go back and edit it. But I definitely am concerned as we get older, making
Mhm.
sure that we are using those cognitive skills because, like you said, you are absolutely right when you're using certain aspects of your brain, particularly your prefrontal cortex. I'm such a nerd, I will tell y'all that. Your prefrontal cortex is firing. When
Mhm.
you're not using it, those cells will die. Those
Mhm.
areas will, like you said, go dormant and then they will eventually, be inoperative. And so, particularly as rates of dementia and Alzheimer's decline,
Yeah.
particularly, I mean, not decline, but increase,
Mhm.
particularly in women, I think
Yeah.
it's important that we do things that stimulate our brain, stimulate our creativity because we tend to live longer and we
Yeah.
want to make sure that we have our mental faculties with us as we continue to age.
Yeah. What do you think about you're closer to younger generations. Like I'm closer to the 20s maybe with
Right.
Lauren and her friends, but what do you think about it in terms of like Jeremy, his age, like young children's
Mhm.
development? Like what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm not sure yet, to be very honest, because they're not using a lot of AI yet.
Okay.
but they do use a lot of technology.
Mm.
And funny,
Yeah.
he had to choose electives,
Mhm.
and he chose technology. He was like, "Mommy, I really want to do technology." I'm like, "Okay." And what I've learned from him in particular is that they are more um, comfortable with
Mhm.
technology because they've never lived without it. Like, I
Mhm.
think I shared with you the other day, I was outside watering my flowers, and
Yeah.
this child somehow figured out how to talk to me through the cameras. So at some point, I was watering flowers, and on, he is on the security system
Right.
asking me for snacks while he was sitting in the living room and I was outside. And I looked up, I'm like, coming from? He
Uh-huh.
was
My
like,
security system talks, right?
Mommy, I know you can hear me. I can see you.
Right, he's like, "And I'm gonna need some snacks, actually."
But for him to figure out how to
Yeah.
do that from that
Mhm.
panel,
Mhm.
and literally, I still need to ask him, "How'd you do that?"
Yeah.
You know, or when I'm struggling, because he knows I struggle with technology. He'll say, "Mommy, let me help you." So
At 6. Oh my god, okay, yes, and I'm glad that you're aware enough to be like, "Thank you."
please, because of what she's doing.
Thank you.
But I think so. I'm excited about his understanding of technology, but I'm also nervous because
Yeah.
I need to try to keep pace. Simply because there are certain things that I need to be aware of. You know, kids have these hidden apps. They have, these roadblock games, and adults get on and talk to them and those kind of
Wow.
things. So one of the things that I try to manage, like he has a Kindle Fire. He doesn't have an iPad now, but you have to use it in front of me. Can't
Mm.
be anywhere that I'm not with that thing in front of you, just because
Mm.
I'm like,
That's
I
a
don't
great rule.
yeah. So
That's a great rule.
oh yeah, and when he's old enough to have a cell phone, I've decided that all cell phones, except for mine, will be charged in a central location. They don't go into the bedroom,
Yeah.
because I need to be able to see what he's doing and be
Yeah.
able to monitor what he's consuming.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's really using AI yet, but
Mhm.
I think unless he says, "Mommy, can you just ask ChatGPT da 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 da,"
He will. And he
and
will
he
do
will,
that.
and
Yeah.
he will scream, "Hey Siri, ask this ChatGPT da 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 da," and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. It's become the
but
new Google for
it
sure.
is, it is. So, but on the flip side of that, my wonder is, what does the job market look like for him
Mhm.
in the future? Because in the past, remember, if you were a programmer or a coder, you were guaranteed employment for the rest of your life. Not now.
No, that's changed a lot. A lot
Yes,
of tech jobs are kinda going away for sure.
yes,
Yeah, it's
because
like you have to have a different understanding of it or they're looking for different roles. Yeah, it's
yeah.
definitely gonna change the job market. It already has, and it's gonna definitely change the job market a lot.
But how is it going to change our education system? Because we're behind anyway. We're behind other countries in terms of how we train. Train is not the right word, but how we educate our children for the future. But what does that look like in terms of preparing them for the
Yeah.
future? Because I'm already concerned about people who work jobs that are service driven jobs, because
Mhm.
those are fading out now. You
Mhm.
know, I don't if I can get a little robot to deliver my food, I don't need somebody who's driving for Uber Eats. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
if I have to do the self checkout, which I believe I should get a 10% discount for doing that mess myself. I hate self checkout.
Over it.
Oh, I
Over it. Over it. Yeah.
can't stand it. But that's taking someone's job.
Yeah.
Somebody was providing for their family with that. So, it's a double-edged sword. So I don't know. I don't know.
I do like what you're saying though. I think about you have to engage with it to understand it. Because I've
Mhm.
actually coached some of my clients on this. Like I was at a speaker one time and he was like, we have different attitudes towards AI. Some of us are like, "Oh no, it's going to be terrible." So much so that we're almost afraid of it and so we're not engaged with it. Some of us are like what he would call, a good healthy criticism, like you're engaging with it and you have a healthy criticism. And some of us are all in like, looking at photos thinking they're real when they're not. Like some of us are naively using it. Kind of these three areas. And I worry about clients of mine that aren't engaging with it because it it does make you much more efficient on a number of things. Um, And I feel like at work, pretty soon, if you're not already using it, you're going to need to know how to use it to stay pace with other people. Just you're
Right.
not going to be as productive if you don't know how to use it at all and you're doing everything from scratch, you know. So I think there is this like we have to be engaged enough to
Mhm.
understand it enough to know how to use it, when not to use it, you know, how to leverage it, what to be scared of, what to question. Like you have to be in it enough.
Yeah.
So I do worry about people that are just like, AI, stay away from, you know, like just don't want to engage with it at all, which when I
Right.
did a little survey is actually a lot of people. There are a lot of people who just say, I don't want anything to do with it. Um, which I think from a work standpoint is gonna, it can get you in trouble pretty soon.
Yeah. I think we just have to use our critical thinking skills when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to AI. And it's really hard to decipher what's real and what's not. You really have to start digging to make
Yep.
sure that you can find multiple sources that say the same thing. And,
Yes.
whether it's on Facebook and celebrity news or it's, political things or, what things that are going on in your own community,
Yeah.
I'm always looking at things with the lens of skepticism because I'm just not sure if it's fact.
I think we need that. We definitely need that. We need the skepticism and the willingness to dig in for sure.
We do,
Okay.
but yeah, I don't know. So what you got? What you got?
Okay. So I mentioned this on the last one. So one thing, just from a definition standpoint, I was looking up because I was trying to decide if what I experience with migraines are really what people would call chronic pain or not.
Okay.
But chronic pain is generally defined as pain that lasts for 3 months or longer, or occurs most days, persisting beyond the expected healing time for an injury or illness.
Okay.
So it's kind of one of those three things. It's 3 months or longer, it occurs often, or it's just persisting longer than you would think.
Okay.
Um, and so I want to talk about, I watched something that was really interesting about the Eastern philosophy around pain, but I want to talk about strategies for pain management as well that are like non-medical. Because we don't, you know, medical, there's so many different things, but kind of non-medical strategies. But let's start with just your personal experience with chronic pain. I'll share mine too, and then I'll kind of share a little bit about what I've learned.
So my experience with chronic pain has been in the last it started in November of 2024, where I developed horrific sciatic nerve pain. Um, I had one bout maybe 6 months before then, but with some stretching and exercise and a lot of Aleve, I was fine.
Hmm.
But in November of 2024, I felt it coming on, and it was so bad that I literally remember the date it took
Mm,
over my life. It was the
wow.
Thursday after Thanksgiving, and
Mm,
I was working out. I did a Romanian deadlift. I felt it, and then it would not relent. I did not get relief until probably January or probably February of 2025.
mhm,
No, it was probably March of 2025 because I canceled a vacation because I
mhm,
was so afraid it was going to come back.
mhm, mm. That's related to something too. Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest experience has been migraines. I've had migraines since I was 7.
Mhm.
So in that way, it's chronic. It's been a long
Yeah.
time, but it's not always like every day or even every month. I'm currently in a period where I haven't had one for a month and a half because I stopped working out, unfortunately, but we'll get to that later. But some would call that chronic, some might not because it's more intermittent. Like it might be a lot in a month, but then not for a couple months. So it was kind of more intermittent based on
Right.
strategies I was using personally and also just life. You know, like as you go through different phases of life, different things will trigger them.
Right.
Like I used to be able to work out all last year very intently and no relation to migraines. A month ago, now all of a sudden migraines when I work out. So it's like it develops and moves in ways that require you to come up with new strategies for it. So some would call it chronic pain, some wouldn't, but still dealing with pain.
Right.
Um, but I'd mentioned this on the last one, but I thought something was really interesting. So I was watching this show called Limitless, and it has Chris Hemsworth in it, who's the actor who plays Thor, or has played Thor for many years, Australian actor. And on one of the episodes, he was exploring pain. He said he had lived with back pain, which was so interesting because he has such a physical presence and a physical job. but he'd been living with back pain since he was 15 because he had some kind of a mild scoliosis. And he went to South Korea to understand their perspective on pain and how he might use it to for his own pain management because he's still in pain often. So this was kind of like what I pulled from the episode from South Korea, that pain is a part of life, that pain is a signal that keeps you safe. It has a benefit to it.
Mhm.
That from a Western philosophy, we all want the silver bullet, which I know we do, of course. But the question that they were asking is, can you work with pain, not against it? And are you resisting pain or experiencing it as a part of life? Because their philosophy is that pain is a part of life we must accept. Um, and that how you experience it, what your relationship is to it, you can make that pain better or worse, essentially. Um,
I need more. What
okay.
else you
Okay, so then when I heard that, what I thought about was like this Eastern philosophy is very reflective of the Christian philosophy on pain. So if I go to the Bible, if it says, James said, consider it all joy when you experience various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. So the idea is like when you go through painful trials, you're not considering the pain joy, but you're realizing that pain is going to produce something in you from an empathy, from a just
get? Hmm.
resilience, a faith standpoint that nothing else can do.
Right.
And then
And
Paul said, what?
I was gonna say, in my grace is sufficient because he did not he did not remove the thorn from Paul's side.
There
Yep.
you go.
Mhm.
That's the other one that I came to is like,
Mhm.
and Paul said concerning this, meaning the pain or thorn or whatever he experienced, I implored the Lord 3 times that it might leave me. And he said to me exactly what you just said. My grace is sufficient for you, for power is perfected in weakness. So
Right.
most gladly, I will rather boast about my weakness so that Christ's power may dwell in me. So,
And Arlene, I love Jesus, and you know he is the center of my joy. But I
yes,
swear he won't talk about sciatic nerve pain.
I promise you he was actually.
About
I'm
the
going to
legs.
promise you that he was actually. And now, oh, I'm about to bring the last one. Now, you're not gonna be able to disagree with this one. This I got from Got Questions, which, by the way, is a great, well-researched website for all biblical questions. Got Questions. It's one of my faves. But anyway, this is one thing they said: when one is in pain, it is an excellent time to realize that Jesus endured excruciating emotional and physical pain on our behalf. There's no pain that could approach the horrific events of the crucifixion. And he suffered the pain willingly to redeem us. That there is a purpose in pain.
Praise the Lord. And Jesus is not finished with me yet.
And he's not finished with us yet. So I just,
However,
interesting. Like, so what Chris was saying is like Hemsworth was saying, he spent his whole life trying to overcome pain, kind of resist pain. Like, I got to heal it, like almost a aggressive approach to it. And he said the South Korean approach is much more like pain is a part of life. So when you'd experience it, not that you're going to accept you want to stay there, but you're also content in it because you realize, like, this is life. Life is painful. Like, we're going to have pain sometimes. So it's not, he said he had this like tension of stress of like, I got to overcome this. Like, you're trying to resist it. And he said they really don't take that approach. So what do you think?
no, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna convince you with one more thing. You just hold on there. Okay. So, non-medical strategies that work with pain management. One is they said reducing the anxiety associated with it. So, one thing is the pain you experience. The second thing is the anxiety you add to that by worrying about the pain. Like, when is this going to end? When is it coming? How is it going to impact me?
Right.
And there's a lot of research that people with more anxiety actually experience more pain. Not saying it's a
Or does the
causation.
anxiety produce?
Right. Not saying
Both.
it's a causation. Right. Right. Could be either.
Chicken and egg, chicken and egg.
It could be either, but there's research around reducing anxiety, actually reducing pain. So
Yeah.
there is some causation research, and some of the things that help you with that is remembering pain is a signal. And so trying to get to the root cause of what that signal's telling you.
Right.
Social aspects help. So not allowing yourself to be isolated in the pain, but telling other people. And I was thinking about how we had a friend whose partner was going through a lot of pain similar to you, and she shared it. And you were like, oh, this is what works for me. Like,
Yeah.
that's what helped me with my migraines, kind of sharing it so other people can help you navigate it, you know?
Right.
And then they said just the social connection of not like how many people you're connected to, but just um being in connection with people that you really care about, that care about you. Also, people who are more socially connected tend to have less experiences of pain because the social connection is like a balm. It's like a healing for the pain that we have.
Okay.
You don't seem convinced at this concept, this Eastern concept at all.
Not you live a little, as I talk to my friends who are more naturalistic, holy, you live a little closer to the ground than I do. Um,
Yes, yes.
I I'm a treated person. So when I was in the throes of the sciatic nerve pain, it's under control because of medication right now.
Mhm.
That is the only reason.
Yeah,
But before we got it right, the idea of going to sleep produced anxiety because I knew the pain was going to be excruciating in the morning or when I got up, even if I had to get up and go
yeah.
to the restroom. I remember it got so bad one night. I had gone to the restroom and could not get up. And I
Mhm.
was crying. And Jeremy came and was like, "What's wrong, mommy? What's wrong?" I was like, "We got to do something about this."
Yeah.
But I think all of that can work in all of the, I think the Eastern and Western approaches to medicine can work in tandem
Mhm.
when I think they can work in tandem, but I could not imagine living in that kind of pain every day for the rest of my life. Like I couldn't walk to my office without stopping 50 times.
Yeah.
It hurt to exist.
Mhm.
So, and I do believe, and I did have anxiety, and I was experiencing some level of depression because it was so limiting to my day to day activities, whether it was making dinner, we call them ADLs, activities of daily living, trying to take care of my child. I couldn't
Mhm.
function.
Yeah.
So, I could think about pain and
Yeah.
but that wasn't helping me right there. I
Yeah.
need relief.
I get that. I get that. And yeah, I think, it's not like one or the other. It's not like, do I do the medical Western approach? Because medicine, and I was looking at this, some of the research says that Western medicine has advanced their approaches
Right,
more than Eastern medicine because of the philosophy different. Like,
right.
so it's not, I think you're right. It's not like one or the other. It's like, can both of them help you?
Yeah,
Um, And our pastor said something that was interesting. Like it was like he did a message on contentment and he was like, you don't have to be content with the situation. Like you might be working to change it, but how can you be content in the situation?
right,
So it's
right,
like I'm not content with it. I'm going to still work to move it, but while I'm here, how can I take the highest perspective on it that helps me deal with it in the moment,
right.
even though, yeah, my goal is always that, I'm free of it.
Yeah,
Um, But if you're not going to be free of it today or tomorrow, or you're not going to be free of it in 6 months or a year, because sometimes we just don't know, or 5 or 10 years, there are people who live with pain all their life. Like, how do you add strategies that help you still have a perspective on it that helps you live better today, even
right,
while you work towards healing or whatever?
right. Yeah, I mean, I think some of that has to be just gratefulness.
Yeah,
No, it just trying to focus on what's good
yeah,
and what is well in your life. And I
hmm,
think that's a perspective that helps us to um, put life to about level set life.
yeah,
'Cause we always have things to complain about. I mean,
yeah,
but if we're gracious with regard to, okay, but we do have this and I do have that and I'm able to do this and I'm able to do that, I think that brings us back to a our it restabilizes us
yeah,
emotionally as well as spiritually so that we can see the grace and the goodness of God even
yeah,
in the midst of what we call life. Excuse
yeah.
me.
Mhm,
So
I
yeah,
love that. Okay,
yeah.
that's my topic. So
But I'm popping those
what's your
pills though.
I'm not against that. I'm not against that. I would never say don't do that. Because listen, that's another strategy God has given us to use. Like
Amen.
we wouldn't have it if he hadn't given it to us. So that's
Amen.
another thing we have. So yes, I'm not encouraging not doing that in any way.
Amen.
Okay. All right. What's your next topic?
My next topic was going to be, I had to take notes, this perimenopause brain,
Oh yeah.
um, was getting older professionally and personally. So, what does the getting older look like in the workplace? And what does getting older look like for you personally? And part of that was because I am doing a leadership workshop and I'm looking at how to lead a much younger team.
Mm,
And I remember being the young psychologist on the team, barely looking older than the high school kids I was working
yeah.
with. But now I am on the other end of that where I am looking to transition out of my career and my primary career anyway. And what does that look like for me, whether it's relationships in buildings or with colleagues? Because my colleagues are younger, so the relationships that I have with them are different. We're not hanging
Mhm.
out after work going for drinks because you told me yesterday you graduated from college 10 years ago, ma'am, sir. Stop.
Right. Right.
So we are not peers. We are not
Yeah.
peers. So what does that look like? And then personally, and this is something I do want us to talk about in more depth. Maybe next time. But
Mhm.
personally, I have had some struggles with getting older
Mhm.
and looking back at photos where, the skin is tighter, it's more vibrant, there's no gray hair, just things not being in the same position that it used
Yes.
to be in.
Uh-huh.
And, wrinkles or, laugh lines. And again, talking about level setting things, understanding that aging is not a gift given to all,
Mhm.
but also what do I want to do around that? Do I want to do Botox? Do I want to have do I want to have my breast lifted? Do I want to get the laugh lines? Because there's this man in California who is doing the work of God with these makeovers. And so,
Okay, that might be a stretch, but okay. I'll go with it.
it's just kind of like, who am I in
Yeah.
this phase of life? And I'm trying to figure that out. Who am I now?
Mm. So, I'm thinking two things. One, I'll give one thought and then yes to next time. Like I feel like we should kick off next time with that topic.
Okay.
Because that's a deep topic and I want to hear what you're thinking about it for sure.
Okay.
And yeah, I've been thinking about it. My one thought one on it, and then we could do it next time, is I've been around a lot of older people recently. Just, people that are in their late 80s, early 90s. Like I've just had this blessing of being around a lot of older people. And I have a few people that are just like my absolute inspiration for that phase of life. And it has really helped me kind of form what that could be like and what that really could be like. And it's given me a bit more of a I think sometimes aging can be like, oh, aging. Like I look at them and I'm like, goals. For real. Like
I love
absolute goals in the way they live, in how they interact, like
Absolutely, absolutely. And then also when we talk about it personally and also talking about it professionally,
okay.
because some of those of us who are not business owners,
Mhm.
like as we start to talk about retirement and what that looks
Mm,
like and how we redefine ourselves in
mhm.
that space. And then also, or people who are business owners, how do we phase that out at
Yeah,
some
I plan to retire at some point.
bam,
I
ma'am.
Welcome to Anelra. Have you ever thought about unlocking the full potential of yourself or the leaders in your organization? Imagine the impact of executive coaching. Ready to transform your leadership impact? Visit us at www.anelratalent.com. Anelra, coaching solutions that work.
But before we finish, let's do a round. You want to do a round of this or that?
Yes,
Okay, you go
absolutely. I
first.
want to do a round of this or that.
All right, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Go.
One of mine is vacation is the context. Itinerary or go with the flow?
I need an itinerary.
Me
I'm
too.
too, I'm too structured for that. Yeah, I don't do go with the flow well.
I said the same thing. I was like, oh no, I need an itinerary. Even if like 6 hours or a whole day of the itinerary is do what you want to, I'm gonna need that on the itinerary.
Yeah, I need an itinerary. Yeah,
Okay.
I need to
Okay.
know what's going on. I can't just wing it.
Just show up and enjoy. I'm not even gonna enjoy that. I mean,
No.
yeah, okay. Okay, that was
Mm.
mine too. Okay, second one, personal chef. Now you can only have one. Personal chef or personal therapist.
You can only have one?
You can only have one.
I need a chef. I'm gonna figure the rest out. Figure the rest out. I need a chef.
Oh my God. The fact of us being psychologists and picking the chef, because that's what I landed to, is hilarious to me, actually. Oh,
We've been in school a long time. I'm just figuring this out.
I asked Chat GPT for my therapeutic needs. No,
Because I'm a show get a chef, friend. Yeah.
I did say that. I was like, yeah, because I was like, I'll just talk to my chef.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna have to. I'm being there in the kitchen, and be like, let me tell you about my day today.
Talk to you, Tasha. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Okay. All right, that's what I thought too. Okay, what are yours?
Okay. Travel back in time to meet your ancestors or travel forward in time to meet your descendants.
I have to say forward because when I think about what our ancestors went through, I mean, this is real talk. When I watch
Facts.
something about what our ancestors went through,
Facts.
I mean,
Facts.
well, wait a minute. Could I just meet them or do I have to experience the
No, you
time?
don't have no. You're having dinner.
Oh,
You're not
dinner.
living their lives. No, no,
Oh,
no.
okay, dinner. Okay, if
Yeah.
I'm just having dinner, I think I'd travel back.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
really, I have some really, my grandparents, like, I didn't get to, they all passed, when I was pretty young, maybe a little older, but still before I was a teenager and I didn't live right
Okay.
by them. I would love to spend time with my grandparents and great grandparents.
Yeah. Yeah. I could travel back in time as well. Again, understanding we're just having dinner. Simply because when I planned my family reunion, I found a picture of my great 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 grandmother who was born enslaved. And I stared at that picture forever. And she was and I just want to know about her life. And I want
Mhm.
her to know that you produced this
Mm,
and that I am living the life that she could never imagine for herself. And just to say
yeah.
thank you.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's
Yeah.
I can
So
that's amazing that you have that. Because so many African Americans, we don't have so much of our history. It only goes to a
mhm,
certain level, but to have a photo that
photo of
far
her.
is stunning, honestly.
And
Yeah.
she was on our postcard that we sent out to
Oh,
the family. So yes, that's why.
I need
Okay,
to see that next time we're together.
sure. Okay. Dream home or travel as often as you want.
Oh, dream home.
Really?
Oh, dream home. Yeah, because when I travel, after about a week, I don't care where I am. Like, people are like, I was in Italy. I don't care where I am. After about 7 days, I'm ready to be at the house. Like, so people saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go on a 3 week vacation to so and so." Oh, I'll be there for 7 days, and then I'm coming
The
back
limit?
home. Oh, like I just don't. I love being home. I love being home. Honestly, I if I had my home and travel as much, I might still pick my home. Just that's how much
Okay.
I like being at home and how much I enjoy travel. But
Okay.
I'm about a 7 day travel girl. Yeah,
Yeah,
after that, take me to the house. Yeah. What would you pick? What would you pick?
I want to travel as often as I want.
You do.
Yeah, I do. I do. I want to come home. I want to change clothes, and I want to be able to change the weather. So it's winter time here. We're going to like Africa. We're going wherever.
Yeah,
I
I
want to
could see that.
pick up, switch suitcases, and go for
Oh, I could.
experiences.
I
Yeah.
could totally see that. I could see you doing that. And yes, I'd probably want to come on like one out of every 8 trips. Like it's like, okay, when you go to these 5 places, text me because I want to get my stuff together to go with you. I could
Absolutely.
totally see that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Earn a fortune or inherit a fortune.
Oh, earn it.
Yeah. The money will last longer.
I'll still have it. Like
Yep.
I would have learned how to earn it and I'll learn how to keep it. There's too much even in the business side. I've learned so much now that I wouldn't trade for a whole lot, honestly. What about you?
Um, it depends on what kind of level of wealth.
Mm,
Because if we are talking like
mm,
Bill Gates money, yeah, you can just pass that off. But if you're talking about like, millions, then
yeah.
I'd rather earn it. But
Mhm.
speaking of that, you playing the lottery?
I used to. Recently, I haven't. I think I've watched too many stories about how it ruined people's lives. And I've just been like, I feel really blessed. Like, I have great relationships with my family. I have great friends. And it seems to ruin so much that
Right.
I've actually not been playing, even though, like, now it's up to like what? When we're talking, it's close to like 1 billion or something.
Exactly. That's why I asked. It's like
Yeah.
800. And we talked about the inheritance. I was
Yes.
like, the lottery's like $850 million.
That's a serious inheritance right there that you could change some aspects of the world with that for sure. Not yet, but I'm not gonna say I won't buy one before the week is out or whatever, whatever the
Uh,
date is. But
Today, you need to buy it today. The drawing is tonight.
okay, so we'll see. But I don't know. It actually kind of that quick gained wealth, it seems to do people more harm than good. So I haven't recently. Like every time I got ready to, I just felt like the Holy Spirit was like, "Don't you buy that ticket?" Like I just so I haven't recently.
Yeah, I'll be buying my ticket tonight.
Oh, good. If you win, then I can't wait to go on mini trips and travel with you.
I
Like I
was
hope you
gonna
win.
say, girl, yes. I mean, honey, yes, we are going to. First call would be to my financial planner. Second call to my accountant. Third call to y'all. Three of
Yeah,
y'all talking
yeah.
about get on a plane, don't ask questions.
Well,
Your
I
ticket,
won't. I
your
promise I
ticket
won't.
is
I'm
at
be,
the
I'm gonna have
gate.
my coffee, my bags. I'm gonna be. I
Y'all
won't
gonna
ask
be
a
like,
single question.
y'all gonna be like, where are you going? Don't ask questions. I'll be right there.
Just pack your bags, please.
We
Don't pack.
out.
Just pack your bags.
Your
Yeah,
bag,
I
sir.
know.
Out.
Maybe Kelvin will play it, and then I won't have the guilt of playing it, but I can still win the money. I don't know. Um, yeah,
Thanks.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna play.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Well, if y'all never see us again on the podcast, you'll know we won
and we don't know you. We are
You'll
not
know.
cousins. We are not distant cousins. We are not long lost siblings. We
Exactly.
don't know you.
If you never see us again, you'll know. If you see us back in another episode, you'll be like, guess they
Yeah.
didn't win the $1 billion. So,
Right.
well,
Right.
thank you, Rosalind, for joining. I know we need to close, but let me ask this. What's one thing you're walking away with from today's conversation? Either something you might do, not do, just like what's top of mind for you.
Just my interaction with AI, making
Mm,
sure it's a good, healthy relationship with AI,
yeah.
and not being afraid of it. Not being afraid of it. I think I want to take a curious aspect to AI to see how it can benefit my life,
Hmm.
but also understanding that will be some things that I have to do to make sure that I am firing on all cylinders in
Yeah.
terms of keeping my mental state and my mental capacity where it needs to be as I continue to age.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think mine is I love your aging topic. I want to think about that more. I want to think about that more. Like especially the professional side, like you said, the personal side. I'm looking forward to that next conversation because I'm going to give that some real thought. And I'm going to even ask some people. Maybe we can put out a question on
Oh,
Facebook or something to get people's perspectives on it. Because I'm curious about because we're all kind of a lot of our friends are in this same age where it's like, okay, you've probably done more of your career than you have left. And so we're all starting to think about that transition. So I think we should do a couple poll questions that we can bring to the next episode too.
yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think also there's a little bit, I don't want to use the word fear, because
Mm,
God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but there's also when I hear people say things like, I have more days behind me than I do in front of me,
Mhm.
or there's a guy on Facebook and he always, his hashtag is always 20 to 30 summers left
Mm.
and cover the earth before the earth covers you.
Wow.
And they out there living their best life. You hear me?
Ooh, as you
Well,
should.
according to social media, because you never know
Well,
what's really going on in the background. Oh yeah.
at
But
all.
but the hashtags kind of resonate with me because it's like, you don't have a whole lot of time left in terms of, when we were 20, 15, or whatever, we're about to enter into we're in the later part of the third quarter.
Mhm.
The
Call
ball
it
is
second half. I'm giving myself 100, so
okay. Well, you're in the second half. Okay. So you can still do quarters and get to 100. You have four quarters,
I know, but I'm in the early third quarter, not the late third quarter.
ma'am.
Oh,
However you want to look at it, okay? The ball is what is it, on the 1 yard line. So either we gonna score or what we gonna do?
yeah.
So, and I think that's personally and professionally, whether
Mhm.
it's risk taking or it's, going after things that we had always kind of thought of in our mind, in the back of
Mhm.
our head, but life got in the way. It's
Yeah.
time to really look at those things because we don't have a
Mm.
whole lot of time left. Well, Lord Jesus, I need like another 50 years, but you know what I'm saying. But
Right.
we don't, we have more days behind us than we do in front of us.
Yeah, death is a part of life, so it's there for all of us at some point.
Daddy used to say that all the time.
Death is a part of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
that's
on a kind of silly note, I always say nobody gets out of this life alive.
also true. Also, also true, actually, also true. Okay, yes, I'm looking forward to that. Yes, we're gonna do I'm gonna do some thinking. We'll do a couple poll questions, and that's definitely a topic for next time.
Well, thank you. I had such a
Rosalind, Dr. Rosalyn, thank you so much for joining today's conversation. Thank you all for joining today's conversation. We hope you found something interesting, thoughtful, helpful to take into your work and your life. We'd love to hear from you. You can always reach out to us. Our contact information will be in the show notes. So let us know what resonated with you. And I did hear from several people after the last episode about what resonated or what you'd like to hear more about in the future. We love you guys. We appreciate it. And we appreciate you all hanging out with us today. So take care and be well. Thanks for listening to the Work Well, Live Well podcast. If you're ready to grow as a leader or as an organization, head to enelratalent.com. That's ENELRA talent.com to learn how we can support you. Like what you heard? Follow or review the show so you don't miss what's next.